Tämä on Huomisen hallitustekijä. Keskustelemme hallitustyöstä ja sen tulevaisuudesta. Podcastin on tuottanut Futureboard ry. Toisen kauden hostina toimii Futureboardin jäsen ja Huomisen hallitustekijä Joshua Moorrees. Tämän kauden teema on diversiteetti.
Hallitustyö alkaa.
Hei, tervetuloa Yathu tähän Huomisen hallitustekijä podcastiin. Meillä on mahtava jakso tänään tulossa ja sen takia, että tämä käsittelee diversiteettiä ja kuulijoissakin saattaa olla vielä sellaisia ihmisiä, jotka nimenomaan on kiinnostuneita tästä sisällöstä, mutta ei vielä välttämättä Suomeen sillä tavalla hahmoita tai ole päässyt opiskelemaan. Mutta kelle olisi arvokasta kuulla tämän podin sisältö, niin sovittiin, että vedetään englanniksi. Mutta tervetuloa tosi paljon Yathu tähän podcastiin.
Kiitoksia ja kiitos mahdollisuudesta, kun puhutaan lisää.
Kyllä. So now we will continue in English, and actually this is a very intriguing question for you, and it's interesting to hear your life story. So who is actually Yathu?
So I have a very diversity phase myself having at the moment. I'm an entrepreneur first of all, and then I'm also a student, as well as I'm a cricket player also.
Wow.
And then originally I moved from Sri Lanka to Finland in 2009. It's almost more than 15 years now. So I spent half of my life in Finland already. So I'm an entrepreneur more than 12 years now. So that is who I am.
Yeah, that's fantastic to hear. And if you could go back in time to the phase that you came to Finland from Sri Lanka. So how did you actually end up and how did the first years in Finland look like?
So I moved here 2009 as a refugee. We had a civil war in Sri Lanka, so we had to move out of the country. So first I moved to UK in 2007, and then I continued there my secondary schools. Then I had a situation that I need to move out of UK, that the government didn't give me the permit to, reside there anymore. So then I applied for the resident permit in Finland. Then luckily I got it here. Then I moved here as a refugee.
Yeah. And how did the first years look like here in Finland? So what did you do and how did you study? Because of course we are part of the same association, Futureboard, and you are speaking super good Finnish, and we could easily do this podcast also in Finnish, but because there might be similar kind of people with similar kind of a background that just have moved into Finland, they might understand and get more inspiration from your story when they can fully immerse it. So could you walk us through what happened when you came in Finland?
To be honest, the very first year, I would say from first to 3 years was very, very difficult to get integrated into the Finnish society. Especially the barrier was the language. But luckily I got the orientation program, which I had to wait 3 months to get into learn the Finnish language. I went there, learned about 1 year almost in a Finnish language school. I learned certain very basic language skills. Then the orientation program was a little bit good enough to go and find a workplace to, practice my language skills. I did my internship program, with S-Market. I started to work with them for 6 months, without paying, to learn the language. Especially I put my hard work and time to learn the language. Through that, I learned the language a little bit. Then after 3 years in 2012, we start the company. So after establishing the company, then I had to do the Finnish. I have to communicate with Finnish with the people and customers and everything. Then day by day, it's got much better. So now I could able to speak, fluently.
Yeah, and that's a super great story. So the company that you founded, after being around 3 years in Finland, its turnover is now around 10 million, and directly and indirectly it employs around 200 people, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm one of the co-founder of the company, so there are four other co-founders also.
Yeah.
Like they all came from Sri Lanka as refugees.
Wow. Did you know your co-founders already back then, or did you learn to know them in Finland?
I got to know through Tamil forums, like after I arrived to Finland. So we had a Tamil forum before, helping people out back in Sri Lanka who affected by the war. So we used to, work those kind of social work. So through that, I got to know those co-founders.
Wow. So super exciting and inspiring story. So before we dig deeper in the company and the foundation story of it, because it's a huge success to come as a refugee, then build a 10 million company in turnover-wise, and also employing directly or indirectly 200 people. That's a huge achievement. But there are many people coming nowadays also to Finland as a refugee or as immigrants. And you said that the first few years, like 2-3 years, were quite hard to get to know the language and get employed and so on. So before diving deeper in the success story as an entrepreneur, I would like to understand, and I feel that also our listeners would like to know, what can we do to integrate people more easily or quicker to the Finnish society? Because at the moment our work life is in a stage that we really need foreign workforce here in Finland, in the future even more, which is of course a diversity thing, but it's also comes up with some challenges. So how can we help as companies, as board of directors, as a society, people to integrate more easily and also more quick to the Finnish society?
I would see in a different way, the time, if I compare the time I came and now, the time now, it's more flexible for those people, for those talents who can easily integrate into the society. Back in those days, 15 years back, we don't see, we don't get any help in English, so you should speak Finnish. But now there are a lot of things and informations we can able to find it in English. So getting those use of it makes more, we can find, and it's even the talent people can, brush up by themselves. So that's the good thing. And of course, there are challenges still through the government and so on. It's the law and everything make more and more challenges for the foreign talents. But I would say in a way, in this way, of course, if we want to find a place for us, we have to run. So that's the only way that we can, make sure that we can keep our places, stick with it.
Yeah, so you feel like the system now is much better than it was 15 years ago when you came. So that's a good thing to my mind. And then the other part, of course, you have to have also something in yourself as well that you want to integrate and you want to succeed or at least find a living here. So what was your thought process and what were the success tools you to first get the internship in S Group, S-Marketti, and building your life from there on? So what was your part? Of course, you showed up, but what else was needed from your point of view as an individual to integrate into the society?
To be honest, the language is the very first things that you have to learn, whether it's right or wrong, speak in Finnish. That's the advice what I can give it to the people. So if you don't speak, you don't learn. So you have to speak, even if it's wrong, go for it. You will learn by doing mistakes. Once you learn the language, try to learn the culture. Culture also very important for the Finns to get integrated into it. So those kind of small cultural things that we have to learn and respect each other's and those kind of things, and we need to learn. So that makes much more easier to integrate with the society. And of course, there are nowadays organizations or social networking events and so on. So we can, go and participating through those kind of things will make much more easier to integrate into the society.
Yeah. And now we get to the exciting part, or even more exciting part. So the founding story of your company that is very successful at the moment when measured by the turnover and the employees. So how did you co-found the company, and what was the business idea, and run us through how it all went from the day one to the current day success that you have in the company?
To be honest, we didn't had any business plan when we start. So the idea behind the starting the company, like as a friends, like we meet up, play football, going for coffee and so on. Then one day, like Maju, he was told, like why we cannot start a company and do something like useful than, just spending time like on the evening and so on. Then everyone said, why not? I personally, I never had any idea, to open a company in Finland or like, or like opening a company, how does it work and so on. So I just wondered, in a mindset, I lived in a mindset like get a job in this market, buy a house, get married, make a family. So those kind of mindset I was in it. Then after I get into that, co-founding, I said, why not like, try something and learn something. So then started with no plan. Then through that, like we first arranged a birthday party, something we get €100 something from the customer. Then we decide, let's change the winter tire changing. So we established the company in September 2012. So we decided, okay, now it's the winter coming, so let's do a car tire changing, but we want to do it in a different way. So, and then what we did it like we offered to customers, like we come to your place. So we will come to your place and, carry all the tires from the garage, and then we will change for you. So you just pay for it. So you don't need to, go to a garage and do those things, waiting in a garage or something. Then it went really well. And that's the one and last tire changing we done it. Then we got a contract in the logistics field. Then the Christmas came. Then they were looking for like drivers to deliver the couriers for the Christmas busy. We offered them 3 drivers. We drive ourselves every evening, like by doing shift, and we driven. Then after that, like we got a deal with bus cleaning. That's the turning point in our company. In 2013, in summer, we got that contract that we have to clean about 150 buses daily in Espoo. Then that is the total turning point of our company. Then we, start to concentrate more on, cleaning, and then with the more big customers directly. Then that brought, day by day, then we started growing up. Then by today, it's massive. Like we grew up like turnover-wise, revenue-wise, like more than 10 million euros, and we directly and indirectly like employs more than 250 people, employees.
Hallitustyö seis.
Hi, this is Yathu here. I'm a member of FutureBoard team. Now I'm inviting you to join with our team. I tell you why you have to join with us. FutureBoard is a platform for board members of private, limited, and listed companies. The FutureBoard stand out of diverse and dynamic environment where board members from various industries share their expertise and insights. It's a unique opportunity to collaborate with like-minded leaders who understand the challenges and opportunities of modern corporate governance. This isn't just about learning. It's about connections. The FutureBoard provides a space of meaningful networking with other board members. We share knowledge through workshops, seminars, and especially with international trips. Join us and lead the future of corporate governance. Thank you.
Hallitustyö jatkuu.
Well, and that's a huge success story. And actually, I love that you kind of guys were doing on a traditional businesses like the fullest startup mode, in that sense that you had first a few ideas like this car wheels changing or car tire changing business. Then you did something else with the logistics, and then after that you found kind of through a few pivots you find your maybe ideal customer profile and also like the product in that sense in the bus cleaning. So kind of a startup story, and then you found the product market fit that scale it to 10 millions in a very traditional kind of a businesses. And is that the way that you actually ended up doing board work or being in the board of directors?
Yeah, exactly. So as a co-founder, then we, automatically end up into the board members. Then through that, like I started, working as a board member, so on. So that's the experience that I have in it.
Yeah. And of course, you had as a founding team in a Finnish landscape and in Finland quite diverse board of directors because of the background of the co-founders. But then there's also that aspect that when you had all, did you actually have all the like co-founders as a board members?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's actually a funny story. Then you like noticed with your co-founders that maybe all the customers who are mainly Finnish and Finns did not take you as maybe reputable or as a serious service provider. So you had to find like some kind of a different kind of a diversity to your board. So you had to nominate some Finns to your board. So tell me a little bit about that. How did it went, and when and how did you notice that we need somebody else outside of our founding team to be in our board of directors?
All right. So basically, it happens in a way like we all co-founders are like board of members. So at the beginning or until certain level that all co-founders like working in the field. So even for the customers, like board members doesn't matter because they see like all the co-founders and the company owners working on the field. This is what our customers liked actually at the beginning. Under certain field, it's okay because everyone, working as well and, doing things, and we are with the same opinions and so on. It's a good thing. Let's say now we are in a point of, 10 million euros and we are strategically like, growing up and so on. So now I see personally that bringing like Finns into the board of into the board, it's a good option, or like it brings more value to the company in a way that the Finns can bring the local market as well as like they know much better culture about the Finland and work environment. So working with them also, like we can build much more like strong board member. So this is what I see.
So actually, your diversity was taking on board more Finns. Yeah, actually very interesting. And you said that, okay, they understand better the Finnish culture by nature and by nurture as well. And also, have the local market experience. Do you see any other like valuable aspect that you did get from the board of directors nomination that you take some Finns to the board?
Yes, for example, like in a way of law or regulations, they are much more familiar than us. They can bring, even like strategically, they can bring more different aspects, as well as, of course, as we are foreigners, we have a different thinking patterns. As they are like Finns, they have a totally different thinking patterns, and they can challenge us in a way, like as I said, like we are mostly like the same opinions with the things and matters. Of course, they can be like in a different views, and they can challenge us in a way. They can through challenging, like they can bring like more value. And I think by challenging, like they can build better, strong board. That what I see it.
Yeah, and actually that was interesting that to me you were describing kind of a diverse thinking or diversity in thinking, and that's maybe one aspect that is not respected as much as it should. And seems that there are, of course, a lot of benefits in that kind of diversity as well. How about, is there any challenges? Because as you said, when everybody's thinking the same way, it's quite easy and happy, easy ride in that sense. But when you have diverse ways of thinking, diverse backgrounds, is there any conflicts or hiccups that might come on the journey when thinking about making your board of directors more diverse?
I would say this is kind of a basic fear that as a human, having it, like, let's say we as a co-founders, we grew up until 10 millions and we grew up ourselves, and kind of maybe like fear also, like identity wise, how it will affect also. But personally, what I see, I will not see any kind of like conflicts as far as we find a good board members who have like same kind of like, maybe that experience in the fields or like experience in being as a board member. So they can also like behave professionally. So I think it brings more value than more conflicts.
That's a good point of thinking. And if you think about like the early stage board work and the board work now that you have in the company, how has it evolved?
It's getting much better because, it wasn't easy, or like in a way, like let's say at the beginning, we are the owners, we are the managers, we are the supervisors, we are the board members. So in a way, like it's very different to differentiate the things from things. Let's say we talk in a normal meeting about strategic, and then even when we are going in the board member, like on a board meeting, then we talk about the normal things. So we are the people like in all places. So it brings that, it doesn't bring the professionalism, but somehow we talking about the same things in a different places, but in some way it's made easy, and in some way it's made like also like difficult to stick with the things also. But now it's getting more like more and more professionalism, as said, like different people and different things. So even now we are thinking to have like more diversity, so it will bring more professionalism in the future.
Yeah, and actually I think that you are describing every startup scale up, or at least in early stage kind of an environment in the back in the days when you just co-founded a company, that you are the management team, you are the board of directors, you are the employees, you are the owners, of course. So it's easy to mix up the discussions and the agendas in different platforms because you have so many hats to wear, so to speak. So good to know that you have now evolved as board as well. And how would you describe what has been essential in the board work, especially that has made your company such a success story, both in revenue and employee-wise? What were the strategic decisions that you made as a board? Of course, you found the product market fit in the bus cleaning, but is there anything else that was like the golden nugget that, okay, this is actually the thing that made us successful, or the things that made us successful?
I would say the hard work. And we decided from the first day that whatever business we go into it, we do it first. So we understand about the business, and then we, kind of expand it. So that's the kind of thing that it made us like successful in the business, of course. And, working as a unit, it's one of the, or like collaborating or like teamwork is the one of the more key factor that we are in this situation. Like we are in this like good revenue wise and successfully wise.
And that's an interesting topic, because also like the boards, or at least the successful boards, are more and more like teams. How do you build up the unity and the common vision that we want to achieve this and agree on this, and still have diverse personalities and diverse backgrounds? How do you combine the individual backgrounds, diverse backgrounds, and then the common inspiring goal as a team, as a company? How do you achieve that as a board of directors?
I would say it's very important everyone now should understand their own capability as well as their own interest and own visions. Through that, we can find that what kind of, or we need to also find what else we need more, what is missing. Through that only, we can able to find the new valuable board members to the board. That's how we can able to build much better strong the board member.
That's a good aspect. And when you think about those aspects, what are missing? Are you mainly focusing on the backgrounds, has this guy or girl or professional being a CEO or CFO, if he or she might have this kind of education, this kind of working experience, that kind of a diverse part, or do you find good person with some other kind of aspects, is he or she thinking differently than us, or what do you actually think when you're thinking recruiting a new board member that should bring something unique to the table? What's the lens or lenses that you are using for that?
I would say the background of education and the experience is one of the most important, especially. Of course, the diversity can be for example, the age or any other kind of aspects also, but especially the education background and the experience will bring more, better candidate into the table, I would say.
Interesting. And when you have this diverse board of directors, and there are different personalities there, how can you make sure as a member of the board or even the chair of the board that everybody feels that they are equal, the equity part, and also that they are feeling this inclusive cultural environment there? So how do you feel? How do you make people feel that they belong to the group? So basically the different part of diversity. How do you build up that kind of a team?
I would say it's more about the company culture. We have a very, good company cultures. It's more even though it's a co-founders are different, but it's more like a family business. And of course, respect each other's and, respect each other's vision and mission, or even the opinions. It helps them, and we encourage others also to talk about the problems or whatever it is, just talk, we respect those kind of, and we give the solutions or discuss the solutions and so on. So this is kind of the culture will make, and everyone feels kind of we are kind of united and we are kind of one family things.
Do you think that it is a normal thing in the boards or company cultures, or is it something that is also diverse based on your experience of board working and seeing and hearing about different ways of doing board work through Future Board? Do you think that it's a normal standard, or do you think that it's still in the minority, the thing that you were describing?
I think it's more kind of, how to say, it's more diversity, I would say, which is more diversity brings more value, and more diversity people learns more things. Of course, if you are in one group, and then of course it's maybe nice and everyone same, but it doesn't bring any values. And then if it more diversity, everyone brings different things into it. Everyone bring different culture aspect, maybe education backgrounds or experience backgrounds. That all matching in one place will make more kind of feels good.
Yeah, very very valid point. Again, so if somebody there listening or watching us in this podcast think that I would actually like to build a more diverse board as as a board member or chair of the board or even owner of a company, how would you suggest them to move forward with that idea? What would be like your benchmarks for building a successful board and building a successful and diverse board?
I would say in a way that the board has to be like such a way in a diversity, even from the beginning, I would say. So that you can able to see different views from the beginnings, like not after like you grow up, but from the beginning, like you see a different point of view, you see different opportunities, and also by building a different diversity board, you will have a support always from a different aspects. Like you feel like you are not alone. Even if you say like you are strong in something, then there can be someone strong in a different way. So even if you don't know something, then there is some helps you can get it from the diversity of board. So I see like in a way, even from the beginning, building a diversity board will make, and it will in a way make safe for the company.
Yeah, and do you see that the diverse board can also represent better different stakeholders like owners, employees, customers, and then of course the Finnish society? So do you see that it's also a valuable tool for diving deeper in the understanding of the key stakeholders in the company?
In a way, yeah, it should be like in a kind of diversity, like of course, like even like in some other countries, like they take employees also into the board members. So I would say it's more strong. So like it's more transparent of this company, which will have like more value for the customers also. When you be transparent, that's if customers also believe on those companies. And I think it's more important, I would say, like every different people can be a part of the board members. So it will bring definitely a more added value to the company.
And as you have a quite unique background coming as a refugee and your co-founders as well, you have a diverse background from, let's say, normally, or at least in Finnish contexts, about founding a company, a successful company. So have you in any stage of the like setting up the company or scaling it to this success level that you are at the moment, have you had any like prejudice from the Finnish people or the society or clients or whatever group that because you have this diverse background, have they like underestimated you or has there been any difficulties in that sense?
In a way, like I would say those customers wise, like they value the work what we have done it than the background where we come from it. That's what I love it also. So like it could be like very minor or like very little way that maybe we got rejected because of like background or other things, but it's very little things happen. But most of the time we have been encouraged by the customers and encouraged to do more and more. So we had a lot of like supports from other people also, like to build better and grow up better. So I didn't see any kind of those apart from a small things or something could happen, but otherwise like we got a lot of supports.
Yeah, and that's fantastic to hear. And do you think that it has been getting even better, like the support and the supportiveness from the Finnish society and customers throughout the years, or was it from the like day one when you founded the company? Has it been like always as supportive as you feel that it is now?
Let's say like at the beginning, like we have to put our own hard work to until you get a place. So from the beginning, like maybe like let's say like financial wise, like we generated ourselves. Like let's say we didn't take salary ourselves, anyone. Like all the money what we worked, it goes to the company bank account. Through that we started build it. So we didn't go for any kind of financial support or seeking or financial support or loans or anything at the beginning. After we grow up, we use the same money what we saved. So growing up, then only we start to get to grow more. Then of course those banks and other financial supports we got it because we had a good platform or like basement already built. So that's the way.
Yeah, and actually that's also an interesting strategical choice that you made as a co-founders, owners of the company, and of course as a board of directors to, if we are using again the startup language, to bootstrap your company. I think it's like the way to do it when you are talking about bootstrapping. So was it like immediate choice as a co-founders or owners will and as a board that we want to bootstrap this company without taking any external investors in the first stage or having bank loans? So how did you come up with this perspective that we will bootstrap instead of supporting on heavy financial support from the form of loans or investments?
Let's say at the beginning, like we already decided, even like when we establishing a company, like we don't take salary until we come to a certain point. So that made easy, like everyone understood that, okay, it's going to be like this. So we don't expect, salary until certain period. So it's kind of strategical also, like kind of decision which we took it at the beginning. It helped us also because taking loans and everything like could be easy, but then paying it's the hardest way, So it's, if you don't take loans and so on, then we know the income and out, what's going out and so on. So it's much more easier to handle the situations. So that's how we decided.
Mm. And throughout your scale-up journey to the current success, has the cap table, meaning the owner portfolio, changed? So is there still all the co-founders or the only shareholders, or are there some external investors or new owners there as well?
We are all co-founders, are still shareholders. Additionally, we had we had like two external investors in our company, like two Finnish external investors.
And when did they come to the company? At what stage and what timeline?
One investor came in 2017. Like once it's the time we start to grow up. Another investor, he came last year.
And do you see that taking these two external, not members of the co-founding team or founding team, to the cap table, and do they have also board seats or not, the investors?
We see a lot of they added a lot of additional values, even though like they are not directly into the board members, but even like they help all the way to the strategical decisions we go through with them. Everything we hear from them, like their perspective, what's kind of thinking they have or opinions. They may sometimes, things in a totally different ways than us, and they have different opinions, ideas, and so on. So still, even though like they are not on the papers of board members, but they are like working kind of acting, board of members in a way.
Yeah. So basically, at least for me, it sounds that there are like this kind of advisory board members, if you want to like put them in some kind of a frame. Very interesting. And how did you and the investors come up with the solution that, okay, maybe they won't take like the official board seats, but be kind of this advisory role? So how was the discussions, and how you came up to the conclusion that that's the best way of doing things as a board?
In a way, like at the beginning, like we, decided that we stick with the board members. So like, in a way, we thought like, okay, it's more efficient taking decisions by being ourselves as a board members. which mean like, the decisions we take like within one day, sometimes within a week and so on, like even big decision, we take it within 3 days also. So being like, like adding more and more people could take the decision spending and, more things at that stage we thought about it. But then again, like, of course, it's more flexible, getting advice from them and then we take the decisions and so on. So it's more flexible in a way.
Yeah, and of course, the decision making is a crucial part of the board work. So have you seen any implications that it would be easier to do decisions? Or let's say better informed decisions when you have like similar kind of a people with similar kind of a backgrounds and thinking versus having like more diverse thinking. So if you could like elaborate a little bit on that. So how do you see like the decision maker process as such? Is it easier or harder in some sense, one of those two scenarios? Or and also the quality about the decision made. Do you think that there is difference in the decision making efficiency or the quality of the decision made when you have more diverse thinking or more, let's say, non as diverse thinking? Could you elaborate on that?
Yeah, let's say at the early stages and in those times, we are like more efficient. So in those cases, like we wanted like more efficiently working, like, whether it's a board or like managers or like any kind of things. Anyone, like we wanted that working as more efficient, or whatever decisions like we take within like a day or week or like something, even big decisions we take within a day, within a week. So at that point, that's more kind of important for us or for the company, like being efficient. But now as we grew up in a initial stage, now what I see, it's like more, it has to be like the decision has to be like more, not, of course it's need to be efficient in a way, but it has to be like more, the decision has to be like more stronger than what it was before. So now I see like it's like kind of in a way that more discussions need to be done and more, diversities. We need to think in a more different aspect and we need to listen from more different diversity people and so on.
Hallitustyö seis.
Moikka! Mun nimi on Maria Sillanpää ja mä oon Futureboardin jäsen. Ja nyt mä kerron sulle, miksi sunkin kannattaisi hakea mukaan tähän porukkaan. 1. Futureboardin tapahtumissa ja yhteisössä on ihan mielettömän upea auttamisen ja oppimisen kulttuuri. Ja täällä jaetaan hyvin matalalla kynnyksellä kokemuksia hallitustyöstä. 2. Fubon kautta sä pystyt tosi tehokkaasti edistämään sun omaa hallitusuraa. Ihan vaan muutaman kuukauden jäsenyyden jälkeen mullakin on keskustelut käynnissä useammasta uudesta hallituspaikasta Fubon kontaktien kautta. 3. Tää porukka on ihan mielettömän inspiroiva. Mulla on edelleen hymy huulilla viime viikon tapahtuman ja siellä käytyjen keskustelujen jäljiltä. Hae säkin mukaan tähän upeaseen porukkaan.
Hallitustyö jatkuu.
That's very interesting. And if we are thinking about that, first you were like all the management team, board members, owners, workers, employees were the same. And now you have like a huge diversification of a people, 200 people working directly or indirectly. You have owners that have still all the founding team members and a few other investors. Then you have the board, and then you have some kind of a management team structure there. So how have you like diversified the different forums? For example, like owners forums, do you have those kind of then board meetings, management team meetings, and of course then the company meetings as such? How have you like diversified the agendas, the people attending those meetings, and do you think that the owner's will is directing the board of directors' work, and the board of director decisions and work is kind of giving the right approach where the management team should be heading and the whole company should be heading? So how do you see that that kind of a flow?
It's more happen in a way like diversity. Of course, like even our company, like in Finland, like there are a lot of like different background employees are working from Finnish and like Asians, Africans, and even South Americans, and everyone like working for us. So in those kind of like the manpower wise is like more diversity, like it is diversity. And then again, when it's come to the management, of course, management also like it's very diversity. Like there are Finnish managers, like foreign managers, like it's very diversity management teams also. Even the higher management is like so diversity nowadays. There are a lot of Finns and a lot of like foreigners and everything. The only part of is the board of members is like not yet like in a like official way, it's not diversity, even though like there are like advisory board like who help out and so on. So that part has to be like more diversity, I would say. But other than that, like it's more like diversity. Even the ownership, it's like kind of diversity nowadays, like as there are two Finnish shareholders or investors. So
yeah. So very diverse workforce and company. How do you build a mutual culture, or do you even have a mutual culture as you have people around the globe from Asia, from Africa, from Finland, from diverse parts of the world? How do you what's the glue that makes people to work towards the common success, and how can you actually lead it as a board member, like the company culture, or can you?
Sorry, Seti.
So can you describe how can you build like some kind of a glue between those people coming from different backgrounds so that they will work towards the common goal as a company, and how can you maybe affect on that as a board member, meaning building the culture up from the board towards the total 200 people workforce, or can you even do that from the board?
In a way, yes. Building a diversity board, it could possible. Then again, like it's different also, like it depends on the field. It's also matter, especially like now we are more in cleaning. So it's more about like foreigners, like mostly the one who doing the cleaning work is like foreigners. So it's need to be done in a way like the board members like should be like in a way like mixed. Finns and like foreigners type, or Finns and abroad. In some way, like it has to be built. So we can see, because the customers are Finnish, the workers are foreigners. So something have to like balance how. So we need to see the customers aspect as well as the employees aspect. So the current board members, like we have kind of, we are like foreigners, so we have the aspect of the employees, but the missing one is the customer aspect. So we need to find like more Finns into the board members, and then they can deal more with those kind of aspects, like what customers exactly, or in the wise of culture or Finnish cultural way.
So, and if there's somebody listening to this podcast and or watching this podcast, what would you say to them, maybe coming similar kind of a background that you as a refugee or as an immigrant to Finland, what to do to have this kind of a success that you guys have had as a founding team? What are the steps to do, or at least, of course, you may or may not be able to duplicate the success, but still, are there some things that you would say that might be helpful to building this kind of a success story as you have been building?
I would say in a way that I always think in a way, like, for example, like my boss Mayu also, like, he tells these things always, like, for example, like if someone is already in a position already, if we are like less than his position, we always need to run to reach that position. The guy who already have all the resources, he can walk and get that goal. If we don't have the resources, we need to run and get that goal. So that's one of the things. For example, like as a foreigner, like when I come here, like of course a lot of things are missing, like language missing, like missing culture, integrations, and everything is missing. So I need to run hard to get that goal. So I can't walk because a Finn guy walking and get the goal. So I need to, it's a reality. It's not about others, it's about me. If I won't get that goal, I need to run it and get it. So that's the things. And then when you like establishing a company, like you can't feel yourself as a boss. You need to feel yourself as a basic employee. You have to be ready to work in a field. Even let's say if you are open a cleaning company, you need to be, get a mop and clean yourself, and you need to go and clean and see, and you have to clean and everything. You have to be ready to, take that challenge. I can't be in a mindset like I will be sitting in an office and someone have to clean my office or like, my customers. So it's very important that the mindset is like have to, think in a way like in a low level, I would say, like even like until you grow up in a certain financial wise in a certain stage, your mindset has to be in a very low, that I'm ready to do any kind of job, or I'm ready to do, give a service to the customers like in any kind of, low, like low level. So that kind of mindset has to be. So it's more about like I would say in a mindset than finding a customer or anything. Like it's your mindset.
So you would say that work hard and have this mindset that if it's to be, it's up to me. Kinda. Yeah. That's a good valid point. And do you think that many founders are neglecting that fact that you need to work hard and you need to be willing to do the hard stuff from the get-go? Do you think that nowadays the culture, especially in the startup world, is more like raise some money, have this high status, and kind of playing that kind of a game? Do you see yourself that's the thing that not so many founders are willing to do the things that they should be doing?
I see it in a way, yes, because I see like in a financial way, for example, like people, they want salary for their title, not for their work. So this is one of the things what happen on the most of the startups and why they are failing also, like they can't able to handle financial wise these kind of small things. Like let's say even CEO, like you don't need to be paid more than 5K or 8K. As if you are a founder, like even if you are a CEO, you may need to, work without getting paid for 3 to 6 months, I would say, in a startup. So if you are willing to ready and you can able to, understand the reality of the business, then you can be able to success. And then many people, like they want profit right away after from the first month. In reality, it's not possible. Like in many businesses, it takes up to 6 months to start to make profit. So those kind of, realities has to be understand.
Yeah, and somebody has to finance it. And in that sense, if you don't have any external investors, it's your pocket and your money as well as a founder or founding team, especially in this kind of a bootstrapping kind of a mindset. But very valuable insights, and of course we have been talking now already about a lot about diversity, also kind of the equal aspects of working life as well as inclusion in some sense. Not maybe covering that as much, but if we think about the equal opportunities, as you said, that maybe a Finn having this certain, let's say, upper hand in that sense, he knows the culture, he knows the language, or she knows the culture and language, might be able to walk to the gold medal, but you have to run it. Do you think that that's some mark of an inequality or unequal opportunities, or is it just a fact that you just start the race from different place? He or she, as a Finn, might have like 20 or 30 meters upper hand or leverage compared to your starting point. Is it acceptable? Should it be this way, or is there something in the system that we should build as a business people, as board of directors, to Finnish work life and society, that we actually have the same start and finish line kind of in the race? How do you feel it?
I see in a two different way. It's not about the equality or anything. It's the reality. We need to accept it. It's a reality. Just it's not about racism or like equality or anything. It's just even like it's same like if a Finn goes to like UK, they are like a little bit back and they have to run to get the goal if a British guy get it walking. So it's normal things in the world. So that's the things. But of course, in a way, in a board member things like it's now getting more diversity. And of course, like, for example, certain things can be done in a different way. For example, let's say the language is the one of the biggest barrier for the foreigners to work on it. If the language can be like in English, for example, then it could make more convenience for everyone. But of course, in some ways, it could be like difficult. For example, like you can have board meeting in English and so on. But then again, the documentation, you have to do it in Finnish again. And you have to send it to the authorities like in Finnish. So there are certain challenges, of course. But I believe like in the future, like it's getting a little bit start, like getting more diversity and become like in English and so on. So I believe like more in the future, like it's possible, like there's nothing impossible. But in the future, let's say like it could take another 10 to 25 years could be, but it is. But then now we need to stick with the reality and we need to understand it and we need to work hard.
And for me, it's obvious why you guys have been such a great success as a founding team, as an entrepreneurs, because you have this like high sense of accountability. Like said beforehand already during our podcast, that if it's to be, it's up to me kind of a mentality. And I think that when we are talking still about the reality, which is imperfect in some sense, you just need to adapt. Of course, we can change the system, but also we need to change ourselves to be able to match the reality and maybe change in the future for the better. So totally love that. And how about, when you had this few Finnish investors coming in different stages, and you had this like super like tight founding team with similar kind of a background, how did you make the Finnish members to feel included? Because there's like a tight pack of founders that have already found some success, and then somebody comes with money to the table to cut the corners here. How did you make it to them that they feel that we are included as owners and as a pack and part of not maybe the board of directors, but kind of the quality, kind of the unit that is advisory board / board of directors combination. So what did you do in that sense?
To be honest, at the beginning, it was kind of, we would talk a lot about it, like when an investor interested to invest in our company, like we were thought about like, okay, our company identity is like we are 5 foreigners built this company, immigrants identity is our company. So when a Finn investor comes into the company, like will we lose our identity or not, and so on. We had a lot of talk about it, and then I went to a seminar and I asked about these questions with others and talk about it, and they said like it's the identity is yours, it's never gonna change. For example, they have me a good example, like in France football team, there are a lot of foreigners playing, but it still is a France football team. Nobody says it's a foreign football team, right? So those kind of like things they have us, and they told like whoever can come and can be investor and so on, but still it's your company. You found it. That never going to you will never lose that identity. Those kind of things we had it at the beginning. Then of course then they came into it. Then of course in a way like before we take any kind of decisions and so on, of course small decision we take, but for those kind of big decisions, or we get going into a new business or buying a new company or like any kind of those things, and we discuss with them, and they feel also like they are into the system and into this company, and they feel also like they are also part of this company.
Yeah, so appreciating their point of view and asking questions and getting them involved to the decision-making process and decisions, even though they are not maybe in the board of directors. I think that's a good advice for any company, even though there wouldn't be that diverse background in the ownership or the board or advisory boards. Is there anything else that you would say that is crucial for building this kind of a success as you have been building as a company, thinking from a point of view as an entrepreneurship or board work? And is there anything else that you would do or change in the past that you see that might have saved some time and money?
Yeah, I mean, I would say in a way that we tried a lot of different businesses in these 12 years time period. For example, we have been in logistics business, we have been in garbage collecting business, we have been in garbage depot cleaning, and I may not remember the businesses. Like, we done a lot of different businesses and we tried different things, and then now we only concentrate on the cleaning and bus cleaning. So what happened is on those past time, like, we just decide and get into the business without doing any research or any kind of analysis. So that's one of the thing I would change. Like, I would change that we have to do some kind of research and, analysis before getting into any business. That could save a lot of energy, money, and time. And we used to be kind of guys like, learning by doing. That's also one of the very expensive way to learn, because we lose a lot of money, time, energy by learning when we are doing things. So those kind of things I would change it. Or I would give the advice for those newcomers, like, put some analyze, put research onto the business and start it.
Yeah, and actually, if we think about the all the research about the topic, it also suggests that when you have more diverse board, they tend to think differently and also challenge a little bit more in a good sense. Does it make sense or not? And also having this different kind of experience can save you a lot of time and money about not trying everything by yourself and learning from the mistakes, and of course about the successes as well. But this has been like super interesting topic, and we could go on all day, but we have to respect your time and also our listeners' time. So final last question. If somebody there is hearing this out or watching this out and want to build similar kind of a success, either in the board work or as a business professional that you have had, Yathu, what would be your final words of encouragement or wisdom to those people that might have the same kind of a background that you have as an immigrant or as a refugee? What would you say to those listeners and viewers?
I would say in a way that there are a lot of opportunities in the Finnish environment for entrepreneurs. So don't think too much about it, what's going to happen. Just, I would say, do a small research and analyze and start as an entrepreneur. I mean, it's a massive opportunities are like already exist in Finnish environment for entrepreneurs. Like, there are a lot of opportunities. So I would say just go for it and, grab those opportunities.
Actually, I love it. It's just go for it. It's almost like just do it.
Yeah.
But other one is from Nike and other one is from Yathu. Just go for it. So people out there listening, just go for it. Subscribe to the channel, this podcast in whatever platform you are, and hear about more this kind of inspirational stories, mainly in Finnish, but maybe we will do other podcasts in English as well. So thank you so much. Kiitos paljon, Yathu. It was a great pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much to have me here.
Thank you.
Kiitos.
Hallitustyö.